I'm just going to wait for everyone to pop on. Just waiting for some people to pop on here. And I'm actually out doing some shopping right now, some last minute Christmas shopping. So I am out and about. So if I don't see your comments, then I will reply to them later on after I get done shopping. So hello. So today we're just busting some myths around starting a business. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to pop on. And again, if you leave any comments, I'm not able to see them right now because I'm mobile, but I will get back to you and reply to you. All right. So how is everyone? So if you have a business already, then go ahead and post your business Instagram or Facebook down below. So that way we can all share the love and communicate with each other. So my name is Monica and I am with Busy Life, Healthy Wife. And I want to talk about busting some myths around starting a business. So one of the biggest myths that I hear is that people say, well, I have to be an expert in my field. Well, you don't. So the nice thing is that whether you are selling a product or a service, you still want to educate your clientele, because the more that they like, know, and trust you, then they're going to purchase from you, whatever it is. So even if you're not a coach, you're still probably going to be teaching them something, whether that's about the product, how to use the product, your lifestyle, something like that. So with teaching anybody anything in the business sector, you don't actually have to be an expert. You just have to know more than the person that's reading your post, and more than the people who are your target audience. So you definitely don't have to be an expert. Don't feel like you have to be, because you don't. Now, I definitely suggest that if you are selling a product or service, that you continue to always learn and strive to be the best that you can be, but don't feel this pressure about having to be perfect, having to know everything, because you really don't. I promise you that. And in relation to that, I hear a lot of coaches say that they have to have a certification. You don't. Some of the best people that I have learned from, don't have any kind of certification. They just have experience, and they have this vibe about them, that really speaks to me, really speaks to my heart. And that's the same thing with your audience. You don't have to have a certification unless you want to have one, but you don't have to have one. And the people who like you and they like your content, they're not going to worry about a certification. They're going to worry about, not even worry, they're going to like you and buy your products and services because of who you are and how you show up online and within business. So definitely don't worry about that. Now, one of the areas that you kind of have to have a little more experience with is weight loss. So if you are a weight loss coach, it is usually better to have some sort of examples of either how you have lost weight or how your clients have lost weight. But that's the only one where I feel like you have to have a little more clout with that. The other ones, you just have to know your stuff. You don't have to be an expert, but you just have to know your stuff. And another myth that I want to bust right now is actually about having a website. You don't have to have a website. Now, it definitely gives you a little bit more clout if you do have a website. You look a little more legitimate, but you definitely don't have to have one. In fact, I can't think of the name of them right now, but there's this famous home organizing group, and they started on Instagram. They didn't have a Facebook, they didn't have a website, they didn't have any of that. All they had was just an Instagram. And now they're huge, and they even have a show on Netflix. They have organized homes for celebrities, famous people. In fact, Reese Witherspoon slid into their DMs. That's how she got them to come to her house. So you definitely don't have to have a website. But if you are selling a product or service online only, not using a website, only like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or something like that, or YouTube, then you have to have a clear call to action. I don't know how many Instagrams I've been on where there's products that are being sold, but there's no information on how I'm supposed to get it. You know, am I supposed to go to a website that's not on the page? Am I supposed to send them a direct message, and if it's a new person that I'm following, or it's a page that I haven't ever seen before, then I'm not as comfortable, going into their DMs. And a lot of your clients wouldn't be either. So definitely on your product post, on the post that you talk about your services, tell them how they can purchase it. Have that clear call to action. You can talk about all of it in the description. Say you're selling a product, you can talk about the product, how it's beneficial, all of that. And the same thing with the service, how it can change lives or how it can make a difference in your audience's lives. But you have to tell them how they can get access to that. Do they need to click on the link in your bio? Do they need to send you a message? Do they need to call you? Do they need to go to a certain website? Make it as easy as possible for them. So that way it's just one less thing causing them to say no. Make it super, super easy. So another myth that I want to bust is that you have to have a funnel. You don't. You don't have to do anything in business. You do what works for you. Now, are funnels helpful? Yeah, certainly. It's definitely helpful to have a lead magnet or a product or service or video or something like that somebody wants, and then they put in an email to get that free thing. And then with most funnels, what they do is it will get you to something else, so a lower ticket item, and then another lower ticket item, but it's a little bit higher, and then finally a much larger ticket item. So that's how a normal funnel works. Now, we do have a lot of funnels nowadays which are just super quick and easy. It's like basically like a one-page funnel. So basically you want a handout, a video, link to a course, something like that, like a mini course. You put in your email, and then the email works as the thing that mentions the lower ticket items or the high ticket item or something like that. But you don't have to have that. I see a lot of people who they just have banners on their websites, or people who just message people in these groups. These Facebook groups are so huge in connecting with you, with your ideal audience. And so you don't have to have a funnel at all. And if you do want to have a funnel, a lot of the email carrier services like MailChimp allow you to start creating those. And you don't have to do anything crazy where it's like 4 or 5 pages of a funnel. You can just have something like really, really, really simple. That's what I have. I just have a simple funnel where it goes to an email link, and you just have to put in your name and your email, and then the person who does that, they get it's called a white page, but basically a page that just gives helpful information. And then later down on the page, like lower down, it has a link to my business course. And so you can definitely do something like that. So another myth that I want to bust is that you have to know everything. You don't have to know everything, not at all. One of the great things about being in the digital world that we're in right now is the fact that we have so many other people that know more than we do, you know? And I say that in a good way because like me personally, I am not a copy expert at all. I'm good with pretty much every other aspect of business, but copy is not my thing. But that's okay, because there's people out there who are experts in copy or who are very, very good at copy. And if you don't know what copy is, that basically is the written information that you provide either on your website or on your promotional post or anything like that. And so, you don't have to know all of these things. You can either connect with people in these Facebook groups. You can post on your stories saying, hey, I'm looking for help. I'm needing help with X, Y, and Z, or I need a coach in this. And you will get a ton of responses. You really will. Also, you can use things like Fiverr. If you've never heard of Fiverr, it is a site where you can ask people to do certain things for you. A lot of these would be VA tasks, a virtual assistant task. But it's also things like I have somebody who I use that they do all of the technical stuff on my website. If my website is having any kind of problems, I message him and I say, hey, this isn't working. He checks it out and he fixes it, or he just says, oh, it fixed itself, And most of these people on Fiverr, they have what are called gigs, and basically these are their products or their services. So they have like a service that'll say like, for $35, I'll be your IT expert for the next month, or for $5, I will write you a blog post about health and wellness. Whatever it is, they have it. And there are definitely some that are way better than others. The big thing you have to be careful with is getting images from there, because a lot of them are, they're copyrighted, and they say that they're not, but they are. So be very careful with that. There's also things like Freelancer, and, there's a few other ones. Sometimes you can buy those kinds of services on Etsy as well. So, but just remember, if you don't know how to do something and you're spending 5, 10, 20 hours on something because you're having to watch all these YouTube videos and figure it out and getting confused and frustrated, stop. Save your time. Hire somebody else to do it. It doesn't have to take that much money either. I mean, there's a lot of things that I pay only like $5 or $10 to do. So definitely take that into consideration. You don't have to spend a ton of money to get help. Just get the help when you need it. So another myth that I want to bust is that you don't have to track your expenses. So I know a lot of people, they just say, oh, well, you don't have to track them until you start making a certain amount of money. No. You better start right away. If you don't have a CPA, or you don't have access or funds to access, any of the accounting software, definitely use at least an Excel spreadsheet and keep all of your business expenses and credits in one account, whether that's a business account, a credit card, a secondary personal account. But it makes it so much easier once you start making money and once you start having a lot of transactions coming in and out. It's so much easier to be able to go to one account and look at everything. And so definitely do that. That's one of the biggest things that I wish I would have done when I started my business. I was just like, oh, well, it's in my personal account. It's okay. No. Definitely go in there and make sure that you are tracking your expenses. And that also allows you to see where you're spending the most money and where you're getting the most money from. and see if you need to kind of change your efforts. Another myth I want to bust is that a lot of times I have heard business coaches and usually it's just business coaches saying that you can only do one thing. You can only pick one niche. You can only have one product or service, and that has to be like your signature product or service, and that's that. No. If you are super passionate about multiple things, then you can do it. Now, I don't suggest that you have like 10 things that you're trying to do as far as like, beauty and health and business and marketing and travel and lifestyle. I mean, that's a lot of different things, and that's really too broad of a market to reach out to. But you can choose a few of those. If you're really passionate about those things, absolutely go for it. Why let somebody else tell you that you can't do something if you want to do it? Trust your gut and go out and do you. Definitely. And so my personal experience, so I am a writer. I'm a young adult fantasy writer. And so I have a business that is just that. It's just my writing. I do some writing coaching on the side for like creative writing, not copy. So I have that, but then I also have my business for health, wellness, and business. It's primarily mindset and coaching, but there are some other things in there, like Reiki and things of that nature. But I was told by a business coach that I couldn't have both. I had to choose either health and business or writing. Like I couldn't have both. But the thing is like I am so passionate about both of those things, or you could really sum it as 3 things because it's health, business, and writing. And the thing is that I'm doing great with those, and I don't feel like I'm being pulled one way or the other because they're totally different things that I'm focusing on. And what's kind of nice for me is that my audience is women for both of those, so it does make it a little bit easier, in the same age range as well, but it's not always that way, and that's okay. As long as you are able to market to the people that want your products and services and you feel passionate about what you're wanting to do, then go for it. And so another myth that I want to bust is that you have to have really, 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 really super amazing blogs, that they just have to be the best blogs in the whole world. They don't. Because the thing is that you just want to have content that's helpful. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can't think of the marketer right now, but one of my favorite email marketers is notoriously misspelling things because he writes out content super fast. He gets it out there and he'll be like, look, sorry. I mean, there are going to be mistakes and that's okay. The blog posts, they don't have to be the greatest in the whole world. They do need to have a catching title, not something that's super creative. So you wouldn't want to say like this isn't editorial, so we're not looking for what you would have like in a magazine or something like that. You want the things that like stand out, so like 5 biggest ways to do X, Y, and Z, or X, Y, and Z fails. You want to have something that like really catches people's attention, and you also want to have the content connected to that. I have also seen that you see a lot more response and read through if you break up your paragraphs. So you don't have like giant chunks, you break them up. You have images in there, or sometimes even a video. And that really helps. As far as to get it seen by Google, make sure that you have keywords associated with it. And you use those multiple times. I know it can seem like there are, like you're putting that same word or those same phrases in there multiple times, but trust me, for Google, they like it to have that same word multiple times. So it's okay. So that brings me to my next myth that I want to bust. And that is actually about keywords. So when I first started in the whole business and marketing industry, which I have a public relations and marketing bachelor's degree, and I was the director of marketing for a business-to-business company for 3 years. And so I did a lot of research during that time about marketing. And one of the things that I found is most people, when they're creating keywords either for their ads or for their posts, their YouTube videos, their store, any of that, a lot of them are posting very short words like candle or coaching or something like that. But the thing is that is way too broad. I mean, if you type in Google or Etsy or any of those types of search engines, one of the biggest things is that you're usually not going to just put candle or candles. I mean, you might, or business coaching. You're usually not going to be that broad. So normally what you're going to do is write what's called a long tail keyword. And this is basically a phrase that has several words in them. So you would usually put in, like, say, like holiday candles for women, or you would put in business and mindset coaching or something like that. So you're going to use multiple words, and so are your audience. Your audience is going to also be putting in these multiple words. So when you're using any types of tags, keywords, any of that, whether that's on your ads, your store, your blog post, anything like that, you're going to want to put those big keywords in there. And if you're like, well, I don't know what to put, well, what you can do is think about what you would type into Google or a store website or something like that in order to find that same information. You can also, Google has a keyword list, and you can see what keywords are popular. And just Google keywords, and it should pull up for you, and you should be able to see like different keywords that you can use and things like that. And so those are my main myths that I wanted to bust. Of course, there are a lot more myths that are out there, but those are the main ones. If you'd like to hear more about what I have to go over as far as business and marketing and anything like that, you can follow me on Instagram at Busy Life Healthy Wife, and also on Facebook I'm Monica Ann BLHW. So you can definitely follow me on either of those. And additionally, I am having a business course that I will be presenting in March 7th, and it's called Building Businesses That Wow. So if you are new to business, or you want to start a business but you don't know exactly how to start it or where to go or how to do any of the marketing stuff or the blogs or any of that, I will be going over all of that. I will be basically pulling back the curtains that you normally can't see behind when it comes to starting a business and maintaining a business. So I hope to hear from you, and if you're interested, definitely leave a comment below saying that you're interested in the business course, and I will shoot you over the information. And I hope that all of you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope that no matter what you do, that you find success and happiness in it. Have a wonderful day. Bye.